When Maya woke up, she couldn't believe the time. The clock on her nightstand said 10:37 a.m.
How in the world did I sleep that late? I never sleep past 8 a.m. on a Saturday.
Maya went to the bathroom to brush her teeth. As she looked into the mirror, she saw the amulet. It was so pretty. She had never seen such an amazing shade of red before. She would cherish it forever. Just as she was putting toothpaste on her toothbrush, Maria barged into the bathroom.
Sorry, Maya, I've got to get my hairbrush. Mama is taking me clothes shopping.
Maria bumped into Maya hard, eager to get her hairbrush.
Move!
Instantly, Maria was thrown out of the bathroom door as if someone lifted her up and tossed her on the floor.
Ow, Maya, why did you push me so hard?
I barely touched you, Maria. Are you okay?
No, my booty hurts.
I'm sorry, Maria. I didn't do anything. How did that happen?
Shrugging, Maya handed Maria her brush, gave her a hug, and kept brushing her teeth. After getting dressed, Maya walked into the kitchen to find Mama and Nana Hilda enjoying brunch.
Good morning, sleepyhead. You should have slept late today.
Yeah, I don't know why. I guess I was just tired.
Buenos dias, Maya.
Buenos dias, Nana. Thank you for the necklace. It's beautiful.
That is very pretty, Maya. And what a nice gift, Nana.
The necklace has been passed down for generations.
How you come never gave it to me?
You never needed it.
Okay. Maya, I'm taking your sister and Abuela out to shop for some clothes. You could use some yourself. Girls' day out.
Okay, Mama, let me get dressed.
Okay, but before you get dressed, can you please help me tie up a little? I need you to clean the guest room for Nana, especially under the bed.
Sure, Mama, no problem. Maria, want to come and help me?
I'll be right there.
When Maya walked into the guest room, she saw that it was a mess. The guest room had become a storage room. There were boxes of baby clothes, old toys, and other things cluttering the room. She needed to put all of the boxes in the closet to make enough room for Nana to walk around without an avalanche of boxes hitting her on the head. The very first box she grabbed said books. It was ridiculously heavy. She grunted as she tried to lift it, panting and out of breath. She stood in front of the box with her hands on her hips.
I wish you would just move yourself.
Maya felt a cold jolt on her neck, and simultaneously the box slid across the floor with the force of a speeding car. It crashed against the closed closet door. She was stunned.
What? How? What just happened? How did that happen?
She grabbed the amulet. It was freezing cold a second ago, and now warm to the touch. She went to the box and poked it, then kicked it. Maybe it was a ghost, but she didn't believe in ghosts. She stepped back from the box, clenched her fist again, and softly said,
Move.
Slowly, the box came toward her like a crawling baby. Her eyes got really big, and her heart was pounding through her t-shirt. She didn't even notice that the amulet got cold again.
Stop!
The box inched toward her slippers. She put her hand over her mouth to stop herself from screaming. Maya took a deep breath. She opened the closet door, looked at the box, and said,
Move!
Slowly, the box slid across the wooden floor, making a sound just as the box got into the back of the closet.
Stop!
The box came to a halt, and Maya realized that she was clenching her hands so tightly that they were numb. She closed and locked the bedroom door so no one would come in. She looked at the box marked baby clothes.
Move!
The box of linens.
Move!
The box of dishes, hats, electronics.
Move! Move! Move!
In less than a minute, all the boxes were in the closet. Next, under the bed. Could I lift the bed, Maya wondered?
Rise!
But the bed didn't move. She looked at the bed.
Move!
She commanded as she raised her hands, palms up, and the bed slowly rose into the air. Maya laughed in amazement.
How am I doing this?
With the bed in the air, she looked across the room into the full-size mirror and saw that the red amulet was glowing. A look of fear and shock came across her face. She stared in awe at the bed floating in the air, the bed that she had moved with just her thoughts and by uttering the word move. That look of fear gradually turned into a smirk. Suddenly,
Maya, it's me. Why is the door locked?
Move!
and with a wave of her hands gently lowered the bed. She looked in the mirror to see the glowing red amulet quickly dim, then opened the door.
Hey, Maria, I didn't need your help after all. I'm all done.
How did you move all those heavy boxes by yourself?
It's amazing what you can do when you put your mind to it.
Mama, can we go to the department store downtown? I love the clothes there.
Of course, baby. I only plan on going into one store. Since Nana is with us, I don't want to do too much walking.
Yay!
Maya, why are you so quiet?
Maya was still in shock from her newly discovered powers. As she sat in the back seat behind her Nana, she tried to understand what had just happened. All she knew was that the woman sitting in front of her had given her these powers.
Maya,
Oh, yes, Mama?
why are you so quiet? Usually your mouth is going a mile a minute.
I guess I'm just excited to finally get some new clothes. Kind of speechless.
Oh, Elizabeth, leave Maya alone. She's in her own new world.
Maya wasn't used to hearing her mother called by her first name, and Nana was so right. This was a new world. Nana turned her head back to look at Maya.
A whole new world, right, Maya?
Maya couldn't move. She couldn't even blink. She shook herself and blurted out,
Yes, a whole new world. A whole new world.
all of a sudden, they were at a standstill.
Damn traffic. Looks like everyone is out shopping today.
They pulled up next to an older man changing a flat tire on the side of the road. Maya could see the man struggling to get the flat tire off the car. His white shirt had streaks of black on it from trying to get the dirty tire off. Stomping his feet and grumbling, he marched to the trunk of his car to look for something to pry the tire off.
Move.
And the flat tire spun off the car with ease, gently landing next to the spare that was lying on the ground. She then focused on the spare.
Move.
The spare floated off the ground and locked in place where the flat was. With a crowbar in hand, the gray-haired man walked back to the wheel and couldn't believe what he saw. The flat tire was on the ground, and the spare was firmly in place. What in the world? The man wondered, as he scratched his head in disbelief. The man looked around to see who could have done this and locked eyes with Maya. Maya smiled, shrugged her shoulders, and looked away as traffic lightened up and they drove away. A block away, they found a parking space, and the four ladies started walking toward the department store. As they turned the corner, they could see there was a huge commotion. Hundreds of people were looking up at the sky. As Maya and her family looked up, they saw something huge dangling on top of a tall building. They all heard a loud snap, and then the large object started falling to the ground. A second later, there was a loud, and the Supadupa kid appeared. Maya gasped. She had heard about him, but never seen him in person. All the girls in school talked about how cute and muscular he was. Maya thought he was kind of skinny.
Oh my goodness!
Denise.
They could see that the object dropping from the sky was a helicopter. The crowd screamed, preparing for the crash. The Supadupa kid was directly under the plummeting helicopter. He threw his hands in the air and formed a really cool-looking, crackling electric bubble. Maya could see the fear on his face and also that he looked familiar. Nana looked at Maya and squeezed her hand as if to give her a signal to do something.
Maya, ahora tienes el poder.
Yes, Nana, I have the power.
The copter was only a few yards away as it nosedived directly at the Supadupa kid at an incredible speed. As loudly as Maya could, she screamed,
Move!
Seconds. I only had seconds to save these people. Seconds. With lightning speed, I flew down to the sidewalk. Even I was shocked by how fast I flew down to the ground. The crowd of bystanders who gasped in horror at the helicopter plummeting to the ground. Their screams were deafening. Screaming stopped momentarily as I landed with a tremendous kaboom. On the sidewalk, I heard someone yell.
Hey, it's the Supadupa kid.
I think that's when I was most terrified. I realized that it was up to me to save these people, and if I couldn't, it would somehow be my fault. How am I going to do this? Seconds. I can't use my lightning bolts to slow them down because the electricity would toast them. Basically, the helicopter is a metal box, and metal is the primary conductor of electricity. The people inside would toast like toasted toaster. If somehow I could form a mild electrical force field, perhaps they would bounce off like a trampoline. They might get a few bumps and bruises, but they would live, I hope. Seconds. There was no time to think this through. I have no idea if this will work. I'm so scared. I looked up and saw the helicopter coming down with blazing speed. At first, it looked like a small dot, and now it was a huge piece of machinery spinning violently. I'm so scared. I quickly looked around to make sure no one was around me. Fortunately, everyone was at a safe distance. Not only could I hear the screams of the crowd, but also the screams of the passengers in the helicopter as it got closer. I took a deep breath. Seconds. I threw my hands up in the air and formed a bubble of electricity. I had to make it hard enough that it would protect me from being crushed, but soft enough that it would act like a giant electric rubber ball, allowing the aircraft to bounce off and land gently to the ground without too much force. I screamed, 3, 2, 1, ah!
The noise from the crowd drowned out Maya's yell. No one heard her scream except her Nana, who looked at her with such tremendous pride. It was as if time stood still. The helicopter stopped immediately right above the electric bubble. It just stopped. The crowd gasped. The Supadupa kid was looking up, face to face with the passengers from the helicopter. Everyone was shocked.
I thought to myself, wow, it worked. I'm awesome. Then the helicopter started to glide to my left. Hey, I'm not doing this.
Without anyone noticing, Maya said,
Move!
waved her hands and swayed the helicopter so it was upright, then moved her hands to the left. The helicopter moved to the left and landed on the sidewalk with only a little thud. The passengers opened the door and jumped out. The crowd roared.
The family and pilot hugged me as if I just handed them $1 billion. I have to admit, I felt so happy and confused. I didn't move the helicopter. I'm not even sure if I stopped it from falling. What is going on here?
Supadupa kid! Supadupa kid!
Supadupa kid!
Firefighters, police officers, and EMT workers were now on the scene. It was crazy.
Thank you, young man, for saving our lives. I knew you would save us.
I just smiled and said, "You're welcome." still bewildered. The crowd was cheering so loud. It was like a rock concert. There were hundreds of people all screaming my name. I waved to say thanks for all their support, and immediately, someone caught my eye. I know that girl. Oh my gosh! Could that be Maya?
The next morning at Javon's house,
The front page of the newspaper! Javon, you made the front page! You're a celebrity!
While it felt awesome to be recognized in the newspaper and on TV, I couldn't help to feel indifferent. How did the helicopter stop? How did it float and land? I know I didn't do it, but who did and how did they do it?
Javon, are you listening? You're on TV again! Man, you're a real-life star! Maybe we could start marketing your image on t-shirts and lunchboxes.
Yeah, lunchboxes. I mean, no lunchboxes or t-shirts. I've got to keep a low profile. The more we draw attention to the Supadupa kid, the more likely we are to expose who's under the mask. And I'm not ready for that kind of drama. I was so startled by my cell phone ringing that I accidentally shot a lightning bolt near Ronald's feet.
Hey, watch it!
Fortunately, we keep a fire extinguisher nearby because this is a common occurrence.
Hello? Hey, Javon, it's Maya. Did you forget about our date?
Oh, snap! I'm on the way. Be there in 15 minutes. Bye.
Who was that?
Maya?
Oh, Senorita Cutie Pie. Grrr.
Dude, that's so creepy. I'm so sorry I'm late, Maya. Things have just been a little kooky lately.
Oh, really? How so?
I wanted to say, oh, you know, cleaning up crime in the streets, saving citizens from peril, the usual. Instead, I said very awkwardly, just lots of homework.
Yeah, homework can be tough. Did you hear about the helicopter incident that happened yesterday?
Nope, I said confidently, while in my head I was thinking, liar, liar, pants on fire.
Really, Javon? It's all over the news. The Supadupa kids saved an entire family. It was amazing. I was there. I saw the whole thing.
I know. I know it must have been awesome to see that happen in person. I bet you think the Supadupa kid is pretty cool, huh?
He's just okay.
Just okay? Yeah, he's okay. Stop being so nervous.
No, he's super cool. The way he stopped that helicopter in midair and saved that family was the most incredible thing I've ever seen. He's kind of cute, too.
That's more like it, I thought to myself. Say, you want to get some ice cream? I think I see a stand over there.
Sure.
Excuse me, Mr. Ice Cream Man. Can I get a large vanilla cone with chocolate sprinkles? Maya, what would you like?
I'll have the same.
The vendor handed me my cone, then attempted to give Maya hers, but he accidentally dropped it.
Oops.
Move.
As it was falling to the ground, I thought I heard Maya whisper something. Suddenly, the cone seemed to slow down, like the wind caught it and stopped it from falling. Maya quickly scooped her hand under the cone.
Got it.
Maya yelped happily as she started licking her cone. The ice cream man and I just looked at each other. Did we both see what we thought we saw?
Come on, Javon. Let's keep walking.
I must have been seeing things, right? Miss Burnett is one of my favorite teachers. She makes social studies fun. Today was the big book report day. All of the students had to write a report about the place they're most interested in outside of the United States and tell the class about it. My report was about China. China has such great history and culture, and not to mention, their food is bomb. The treacherous three convinced Miss Burnett to let them do their project together. This should be a train wreck.
Okay, the Thomas girls are up next, and then you, Maya. Let's go, ladies.
Tracy, Tanya, and Tammy got up together and walked to the front of the class, strutting in unison as if they rehearsed it. They turned to face the class, snapped their fingers, and even started to recite their book report in unison. The only thing more annoying than the Thomas triplets is the Thomas triplets reading together. All I could hear for 10 minutes was blah, 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 blah. And that's why we love Paris. After they were done, they snapped their fingers, sashayed back into their seats, and glided into their chairs, all in unison. Who does that?
Thank you, ladies. According to your report, Paris is nothing but expensive shoes, clothes, and food. Okay, Maya, you're up.
With her report in her hand, Maya walked up to the front of the classroom. As soon as she got there, she slipped and fell.
Ow!
The class busted out laughing, but it wasn't funny. See, she really hurt herself. As Miss Burnett helped her up, she saw a wet spot in the floor. She bent down and rubbed her fingers on the wet spot and realized it was soap. She stood up with her hands on her hips and sternly said,
Ladies, did you spill this on the floor?
I don't know what you're talking about, Miss Burnett.
Javon, please help Maya to the nurse's office. Ladies, you three are to stay after class so we can straighten this out.
Maya put her arm around my shoulder as I assisted her down the hall. I hated to see that she was hurt, but I have to admit, I kind of liked her leaning on me. As we walked out of the classroom, I heard Maya whisper something.
Move.
It sounded like she said the word when she caught her ice cream cone. It sounded like she said the word move. Then I heard, the treacherous three got slapped in their face with their notebook.
Ow!
Oh.
Ow!
Each screamed, holding their noses like they just got punched.
That'll show them.
Just then, I saw a look in her eyes that really worried me. Maya was really angry. The Thomases were pushing her to the limit. As tough as Maya is, I know she's not crazy enough to take on those three girls, especially those three nuts. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a flash of red light around Maya's neck. Or maybe I was just seeing things again.